A dreadful and agonizing wait is now into a new morning for people in Dauphin, Manitoba. RCMP say investigators are still working to confirm the identities of people killed in that disastrous crash.
This is a very ongoing process, and we work very close with the Manitoba Medical Examiner's Office, because this is something we have to make sure we get right. It has to be accurate before we start confirming any next of kin notifications. We don't want to make that mistake.
RCMP confirmed that 15 people are dead and another 10 are injured, killed when a bus carrying seniors and a semi-truck trailer collided on the Trans-Canada Highway near Carberry, Manitoba. RCMP say the crash happened at an intersection in a divided section of the highway, with the bus crossing south and the truck going east. Images from the scene show the wreckage of the bus on fire. 25 seniors from Dauphin were on board for an outing to a casino. We're waiting for an update from the Health Services Centre in Winnipeg. That'll be later on today. Brittany Greenslade is with us from Winnipeg for more on this story. So Brittany, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Let's start with what happened. What more do we know?
Yeah, well, it is a somber morning here in Winnipeg and Manitoba. Many people just waiting for answers right now, and answers that we know could take quite a while, according to RCMP, because of just the vast span of that wreckage and exactly how horrible that crash was yesterday. So we do know that as of late last night, they were still waiting to do next of kin notifications for many of those people that were involved in the collision. 25 seniors that were on that handy transit bus involved in that collision. Now, the scene on the highway opened up early this morning, so traffic is moving there, albeit likely very slowly as people pass that crash scene. As of late last night, you could still see debris all over the highway. There were walkers and some areas of wheelchairs there that were along the side of the street, along the roadway there. Now, it does slow down to 100 kilometers on that stretch of highway, but it is fast moving. And what we do know so far, as you said, 25 people that were on board that handy transit as it was driving near Carberry last night. It was heading south on Highway 5 when it was struck by that eastbound semi on Highway 1. Now, we do know from RCMP yesterday that they are taking this investigation extremely seriously. It is a delicate investigation, just given the nature of this, and many of those officers saying they've never seen anything like that in our province. Now, we had reporters on scene yesterday who could see tarps covering areas of the highway as well, and witnesses that were driving by that crash site that described just the horrific scene that they passed.
I just went outside and I saw that on the vehicle, the fire was about 15 to 20 feet high, and all the smoke coming out from the vehicle. And I just went outside to our ground, and I saw that there was a semi-truck and a passenger vehicle.
I saw flashing lights and everything, and I immediately assumed it was an accident. As I got closer, I realized it must be a pretty big accident because there's tons of vehicles at that spot. Multiple semi-trucks stopped, and then I saw one semi-truck that had obviously been in the accident. The front end of it was burned.
A traffic crash happened about 11:40 local time here, about 150 kilometers west of Winnipeg near Carberry, and that was carrying a group of seniors that were traveling from Dauphin, which is about 4 hours outside of Winnipeg. And while this happened almost 24 hours ago, RCMP say they are still in the infancy of this investigation. As you can imagine, it is going to be a lengthy investigation. Officers here saying they're actually talking to RCMP in Saskatchewan, who dealt with the Humboldt bus crash, because it's bringing up so many memories of that and so many investigations like that, that they're going to be asking for help from the team there. Now, the one thing we don't know yet, and RCMP say they're still looking into, is whether there is a criminal element that will come out of this crash. And they are asking anybody who passed the scene or who witnessed it to please come forward. Here's what the RCMP had to say yesterday.
What we're looking for is all sorts of evidence. Video in today's day and age is very important, so that'll be one of the key things that our investigators are looking to secure, and we'll be reviewing any video. We'll be talking to witnesses, people driving by that possibly saw what happened, and taking statements from them and capturing their accounts.
So we're hoping to get an update from RCMP later this morning. We will be checking in with them to get the latest on the investigation. But as we said, this is expected to be a lengthy one, and we are going to be waiting likely for a while for answers to so many of those questions that we have.
And Brittany, of course, one of those questions this morning would be the identities of the victims. So what are we hearing from RCMP at this point about their efforts to try and identify the victims? Are we hearing anything more from their families?
We were able to go to Health Sciences Centre last night, which was one of the hospitals that was receiving patients. There was 4 in southwestern Manitoba. We know that Stars Air Ambulance was on scene, taking some of those patients to multiple hospitals around the area here. And one thing we do know is that those who survived had serious injuries. We heard from the CEO of Shared Health, who said many had head injuries or orthopedic injuries, although they wouldn't get into the extent of those injuries. And as we said, it's going to take a while to notify the next of kin, as we heard the same in the Humboldt Broncos bus crash. And RCMP here saying they want to be very careful. They want to make sure things are done right and that people are notified properly. So we are waiting for many of those notifications still. But one of our reporters was able to speak to one man yesterday outside Health Sciences Centre who had both parents on the bus.
I don't have any information except my mother is in HSC here. My father is unaccounted for, and so family is just basically waiting for word. Reports are there's people either at Health Science here, possibly Regina. We've called a call center in Dauphin that's been established, and at this point they have no new information for us. It's just very difficult, but again, we're just wanting to know obviously where my father is. We now know where my mother is, so at least we can, deal with that situation.
Now, we do know that a family center has been set up at the hospital for those who are coming in looking for their loved ones, as well as the Lutheran Church out in Dauphin, where people can go to gather, because as we know, this is going to impact so many people here in the community.
And we do have that support line up on our screen now, Brittany, for anyone who is looking for that number for more information. And of course, you mentioned the Winnipeg Health Sciences Centre. We are also expecting an update from officials there later today. Don't have a time yet, but of course, we'll bring that to you. Brittany, the seniors on board the bus, it sounds like what we were hearing yesterday, that most of them are from the city of Dauphin. So tell us about some of the outpouring that we've seen there.
Yeah, Dauphin and the surrounding areas, which is about 4 hours outside of Winnipeg here. It's a small town, and the one thing being, as we know with a small town, is everybody knows everybody. And we spoke to the mayor this morning. We're going to be speaking with him again shortly, but he says this really is going to impact every single person in this community. Everybody knew somebody on that bus, as we have with small communities all over Canada. It is so connected, and they are so well known to each other. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be grieving this morning, a lot that are still going to be waiting for many answers. Now, we spoke with Dauphin Mayor David Boziak this morning, and I just want to read you a little bit of what he said. He says, literally everyone in town knew someone that was on that bus. There's a collective feeling of shock. It's just a tremendous tragedy for our little community. It's a kick in the teeth, a punch in the gut. And that's how so many people are feeling this morning as they wait to hear more information. And we know that town is going to be grieving. We have a reporter there this morning speaking to people, and we'll be getting the latest from there throughout the day.
Brittany, thank you for this, for bringing us all of those details. We really do appreciate the update this morning. Brittany Greenslade for us in Winnipeg.